The extremely popular Netflix show Cobra Kai is going to end with Season 6. It was fun while it lasted, but there are a few fights that need to happen before it all ends. For example, the match between Tori Nichols and Sam LaRusso. I mean, I wouldn't blame you if you were rooting for that, because really, we were robbed of this. So a rematch between the LaRusso kid and Tori Nichols is a must-see before the conclusion of Netflix's Cobra Kai series. It's a shame that Sam and Tori had largely reconciled by the end of Season 5. God, what have I become? What am I wishing for? But hey, it's only fair to Sam. Although, I would give it to them for doing what they did, especially after Sam gained insight into Tori's difficult home life. Plus, Tori assisted in taking down Cobra Kai, so that was something. But, given all of that, it's likely that there still exists some lingering tension between the two. So, in a situation like that, a final showdown could provide closure. Plus, like it's commonly seen, a bout between the two could also help further solidify their friendship. Hey, don't come at me. We've already seen it happen between Miguel and Robbie, and who doesn't know how much they hated each other? But unlike the very intense battle between Miguel and Robbie, I think this one wouldn't be as hard. I mean, it doesn't have to, but if the writers want, they can have it any way they like. But, however it happens, it'll be nice to have it end with a meaningful lesson for both. All in all, this rematch would further emphasize the show's themes of friendship, redemption, and the power of perseverance. Plus, Tori did find out that her sensei bribed the judge to make her win against Sam. So I'm guessing she would actually want a rematch with Sam, a fair one at the very least. Oh, and if you aren't interested in this one, I'm sure you are for what's likely to happen in Season 6. I'm talking about a John Kreese versus Daniel and Johnny. Now, if you're going to say that this isn't possible because John died, I'm gonna assume you didn't see Season 5. At least not till the very end. And that, to me, is very disappointing. Because, wait for it, Kreese is alive. Oh yes he is. In fact, with Kreese's escape from prison at the end of Season 5, he's sure to find himself in conflict with the two former rivals. This fight could provide Johnny and Daniel with one final opportunity to defeat Kreese. Plus, hopefully, it'll put an end to the legacy of Cobra Kai, which would be a fitting conclusion to the series. The setup for a confrontation between the three characters is well established. We can clearly see that. But while Kreese will have ample motivation to seek revenge against Johnny and Daniel, will Johnny and Daniel have it the same way against him? On one hand, it'd feel like they've grown out of that, especially after what happened between them and Terry Silver last season. But on the other hand, I think they'd want to put a complete end to the evil that he brought into their valley. Interestingly, they misled him into believing they would help him escape prison in exchange for information about Silver, which for sure is going to ignite a fire inside Kreese, who's going to come stronger for them, because betrayal is one thing Kreese just can't handle. This betrayal is sure to spark a final showdown. Imagine bringing all that started with the Karate Kid movies to an end on a note where Kreese, the reason for all the evil, is taken to the cleaners. Ah, the satisfaction that would bring all of us. But that's not all. There are a bunch of other battles we'd like to see. Think of Kim Da-yoon versus John Kreese. Funnily enough, Johnny and Daniel aren't the only people Kreese will have to take care of once he's out of prison. One of these people is Terry Silver's accomplice, Kim Da-yoon. Surprisingly, given how brutal she was, there wasn't much of her at the end of Season 5. Could it be preparation for Season 6? Is she gathering herself up for that, to become the main antagonist? You know, there's a chance that the two could actually join forces. While that won't be a sight we're hoping to see, the more likely outcome of it is a power struggle. I mean, who's going to give up their control over Cobra Kai, especially when Silver is gone? This showdown could also further weaken Kreese's character, who will be struggling to find an ally in a world that's more aware now. But hey, hear me out. Have you noticed how Kreese started out as a villain, but slowly over the seasons, they tried to tone him down? Like how they show that he is the way he is because of the things he went through in the past. Could the writers switch things up and portray him as a different person now? Someone who's not ready to embrace the ruthless tactics of his past? In that situation, it's possible that Johnny and Daniel could actually team up with him against Kim. But, that's highly unlikely if you ask me. And given that he literally broke out of prison to escape, there's a slim chance that he's willing to change. Although, it would be nice to see Kreese finally coming to his senses and realizing the evil that created. If that's the case, I think the viewers may be able to forgive him, but even that can't be said until Season 6 happens. If you ask me, the safest option is to let him lose as a villain, then change sides after more than 4 decades. But we've got more, like the Robbie versus Kenny Payne arc. Okay, I need to confess something. Kenny gets on my nerves sometimes. Dude got bullied, okay. Now, he's doing the same thing without any logic or sense. And then the guy who's acted as your big brother tries to help you, and you shrug him off too? I mean, what's wrong with you? Okay, yeah, I might have been a little too harsh to judge him. The kid's been through a lot, but man's gotta stop. He's been beating a guy twice his size, and constantly. So then, what's the solution? I think a fight between Robbie Keene and him, because despite Kenny's realization of Terry Silver's unethical ways, he still holds a grudge against Robbie. This actually could be the main story of Season 6, because Kenny never got the light that he deserved. It also means that even though he disapproves of Terry, he still holds onto the values instilled into him by Cobra Kai. To help steer Kenny in the right direction, Robbie may need to engage in a fight with him. Don't you love how the solution to everything in the Karate Kid universe is a fight? But in all seriousness, a fight between them would be an emotional moment. We've all seen how Robbie guided him when he first stepped foot into the dojo. Their friendship was something. Robbie's bond with Kenny was a pivotal factor in his realization that Cobra Kai was a toxic influence. So, it'll be interesting to see how he gets Kenny to realize the same thing. Of course, we know that Kenny isn't the villain here. He's just a kid who's been overwhelmed by the events in his life. And if there's anyone who can fix that, it's Robbie. But with a fight, of course. So, while we wait to see who fights who, in probably the biggest season yet, I'd suggest that you catch up with me in the next video.
Out of our deal a few times. You know what? We played it just right.
No one suspects a thing.
The money will be in your account tomorrow morning. Thank you, Mr. Silver.
Is that all you got?
What do you want?
I'm not here to cause any trouble. I just want to catch up. You know, for old times,